What's up, nerds? We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We're also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week we're going to be talking about Peter Pan and Wendy now streaming on Disney Plus.
We'll also talk about the latest episode of Titans. Is that episode 10 of season 4, now streaming on HBOMax. So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
I think.
Nerd.
Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chad, how was your week?
It was pretty good. Like I mentioned last week, I bought a 3D printer, got that set up. I bought it online, so some things shifted, so I'm still trying to get it calibrated. Had to get a couple upgraded pieces for that, so it's not up and running yet, but it's been fun to play with still, so that's pretty cool. For our upcoming D&D campaign that I'm going to be DMing, that will be an additional podcast on our channel, filled the party. So that should be starting soon, which is pretty awesome. And then I just played D&D as well. It was a very Dungeon and Dragon week for me. What about you?
Nice. For me, what did I say when we talked about this? Well, I bought a new car. Needs a little TLC, but trying to get something a little more reliable for my kid. And speaking of my kid, by the time this episode comes out, Nicole and I will be halfway through our pregnancy. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Jinx?
Yeah. So on Tuesday is technically the 20-week mark, and then Wednesday we get our halfway ultrasound, which would be cool. So
That's awesome. So that's the day that this episode will be out.
yeah,
Well, congrats. I'm excited.
me too.
Well, before we get into anything else, if our listeners like what we're doing here and want to support us, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support the podcast and everything that we do on a monthly basis. By doing so, you get some exclusives, behind the scenes, exclusive merch. Depending on what level you join at, a group chat with Jake and myself where you can ask us questions about our thoughts on nerd stuff. So yeah, go ahead, check that out. It's buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. There's a fair amount of nerd news and things that are nerd adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to take the first one, Jake?
Nope.
Okay. We got a new trailer for the upcoming Flash movie. And there's so many fibers of my body that wants this movie to suck and not be great. But fuck, it looks so good.
I think that maybe it doesn't look as good as I thought it was gonna be. Like when the first trailer, I was like, "Fuck, this looks good." This is kind of a bummer. Now with the second trailer, I'm kind of like, the action sequences look cool and all that, but I feel like the story is gonna kind of suck. We'll see. Plus, I
Yeah.
partly I'm just what do you call it? I'm just a little bit sour about Ezra Miller because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Everything that they've done in the public eye, and then also just with the whole DC change. I understand that this movie is supposed to reset everything, but now
Is
there's
it?
speculation that The Flash is going to get a sequel with Ezra Miller. It's
Which doesn't reset shit.
yeah, so make up your mind, please.
Yeah.
Um, I think it still looks good.
I assume it's
Um,
gonna. Tom Cruise ranted about how good this movie was, and if I trust anybody about movies, it's Tom Cruise. So, and I don't mean that sarcastically. Everybody hates Tom Cruise. I am a huge Tom Cruise advocate. So,
I think
that's
as a
like the one
person,
thing.
he's a little kooky and weird, but I
That's what makes
I
him so
love his
awesome.
appreciation of
Yeah.
movies and pushing limits and
Mm.
just doing crazy things.
I still think the last thing anybody's gonna see of Tom Cruise is him just spinning outwards into space because that's his next big movie is gonna be an actual space movie where he's actually in space for filming, and I think that's gonna be the end of Tom Cruise. I hope not. I love Tom
One
Cruise.
thing goes wrong and he's Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, Gravity. Yeah, just gone. Hopefully
uh
not, but
yeah, hopefully not, but that would also be a very poetic way for him to go.
you know. Love you, Tom.
Appreciate you, Tom.
Oh God. Okay, so the big one this weekend, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out.
Hmm.
The reviews for it are already fantastic. No pun intended. Um, Fantastic Four. Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
I was like,
Um,
what?
but it is very much a standalone film. They said that this movie's not really going to tie into much of the Marvel
I mean, that's
universe,
kind of how the
but
first two were also.
yeah.
They were just like MCU adjacent.
Yeah. Which is kind of how the Guardians are in the comics. Like they're like which is that's one of my favorite things about the Guardians is that they're a very like not even a B class. So you ever go to the strip club during like the day,
Like on
and
a
then
Tuesday.
it's like the strippers that are like, you know, eh, and then as the night goes on, they get better and better.
Yeah.
Like the Guardians of the Galaxy are very C class
Yeah.
characters, and the fact that they are making just badass movies. And I don't mean that just female strippers, in case anyone's thinking I'm being sexist. I'm pretty sure that C
Oh,
class, B class, and A class strippers are across the board.
so you're saying that I could get a lunch shift?
Like a breakfast, maybe?
Can I at least work through brunch? Because people love brunch. Sorry, Mom. I'm not going to become a stripper. This is why you should all go subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yeah, go
So you
find our
can,
OnlyFans. And
uh, yes.
we're not slutty because we do cosplay and then show our tits.
Well, I'm the one with the tits.
I'm working on them. I'm working on my dad bod. I'm getting there.
Uh, Also, not really nerdy, but Taika Waititi has a new movie coming out. It's called Next Goal Wins. It's based on a true-ish story. See, this is the kind of movies that I appreciate from Taika. Because they're just goofy and hilarious. I know you are so just anti-Taika.
I'm not anti-Taika. I just think that this movie
Oh,
is just a piggyback of the success of Ted Lasso. And Taika's like, oh, I can make a funny soccer movie. And it's like, why? We already have like perfection in that right now.
yeah.
Do something original, you fucking twat.
Yeah, it does look like Diet Ted Lasso. But what's cool is it takes place in the French Polynesians. Taika's from New Zealand, so there's a lot of like Kiwi and indigenous people from like the Samoas, Tasmania, New Zealand, all that stuff in this, which is cool because representation matters.
Yeah.
And it looks funny, but it's still gonna be full Taika, which means it'll be funny and enjoyable because it's not ruining a beloved franchise by being too Taika.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, go, like, with Taika, like Jojo Rabbit, full Taika. Loved it. Heartwarming, sad, funny, you know.
Yeah. What We
Uh,
Do in the Shadows is still a phenomenal
It's amazing. But yeah,
to the point where they created
Don't
a TV show.
fuck with our Thor movies, you dick.
Yes.
Um, we did get confirmation that Alita,
Don't you
Battle
mean
Angel,
Anita?
Anita, as Chad typed it, it's Anita,
As
Battle Angel.
autocorrect fixed it.
Alita, Battle Angel, um, uh, part two is coming out, and that makes me very excited because I thought that movie was bad fucking ass.
I have to give it another chance because I saw it when it first came out, and the CGI like made me really dissociate from enjoying the film.
Yeah,
But I've
I thought
seen
it was.
clips of it since then, and I'm like, this looks pretty badass. I just haven't
I
gone back to watch it yet.
I thought that was what was kind of cool about it is that they didn't try to make it look like overly realistic. They were like, okay, this is what it is. Let's keep it that like,
Keep it campy.
yeah.
Uncanny
I
Valley.
I am very excited. Hopefully, they at the end of that movie they very much alluded to Edward Norton being like the big bad. Um, and
I
I
love
hope
Edward
that he
Norton as
comes
a
back.
villain.
I know, I fucking love Edward Norton.
But like
Anyways,
also as a bad guy, like he just fucking kills it.
yeah, he's just a good actor. He's one of my top like three: Robert Downey Jr., John Cusack, Edward Norton. Those are my top three favorite
Ooh,
actors of all
John
time.
Cusack got the top
Love
three
John
spot.
Cusack. Yep.
I couldn't even tell you my top three. I'd have to spend way too much time than what we have to think about it. Um, also, it's not confirmed, but it's in talks that Antonio Banderas might be voicing Galactus in the MCU.
Yeah, we know that, or we don't know. I guess it's rumored that Galactus and Silver Surfer will be a part of the Fantastic Four movie coming out, and Antonio Banderas is the top rumored actor to be voicing or portraying. I don't know if he's gonna be giant CGI or if it, I don't know. But Antonio Banderas, and I love that because I love Antonio Banderas. He was awesome when I was a kid in movies, and then I think he got cancer like not that long ago, and he beat
Oh,
it, and he's been slowly making a comeback. So that's what's up.
yeah, that's awesome.
He was in the Uncharted movie. Uncharted.
Enchanted?
He was in the Uncharted movie
Yeah,
recently, and then yeah, this would be huge for him as a comeback. So I'd
yeah.
like to see that very much.
Like Seabiscuit.
I still think that Liam Neeson would be an amazing voice actor to play Galactus.
That's still my top, but I
Yeah,
don't dislike Antonio Banderas.
Samesies,
Samesies.
samesies. But I wonder how they're gonna do Silver Surfer.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm sure like the CGI is way better, so he's probably gonna look a lot better. Not that he looked bad in Fantastic Four 2, but
For the time, yeah. But he also
anyways,
kind of needs that same like commanding voice. Like Lawrence Fishburne was a great voice for that.
yeah. He also needs to not be a bitch. Because in Fantastic Four 2, Fantastic Sam's 2, he was definitely
Fantastic Sam's Club. Uh,
kind of a pussy. And I can say pussy now without it being a
derogatory.
degrading thing. Yeah.
Because we learned that it is a shortened word. I don't have it exactly in front
It's
of me.
like pusillanimous or something like that, which
Yeah.
means timid
Weak,
and scared.
timid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Does not directly refer to genitalia.
yay, you bunch of pussies.
14 minutes into our 111th episode, and we finally got canceled.
You
Well,
can't be mad about it. It's a shortened whatever. Move on.
yeah.
We still love you guys.
Semantics and hermeneutics do play a role, but that's not where the word came from. Uh, also, there's a lot of, on the topic of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out, there is a lot of talk from most of the actors that they will not be returning.
Yeah.
There's a couple that have said that they would return, but obviously it wouldn't be a James Gunn project. It could even be like in Secret Wars or kind of like Infinity War, where it's smaller side roles. Not
Yep.
really side roles, but not leading a film,
Yeah.
sort of thing. But Zoe Saldana is done as Gamora.
Hmm. And somebody, I'm assuming Drax, is gonna die, so I don't think we'll see that person anymore either.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
he wasn't even going to come back for the third one unless
yeah.
James Gunn was.
Well, that was after the whole "you're fired" fiasco and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so some of the characters have, like, Chris Pratt has said that he would be open to coming back as Star-Lord in the future, but it just will not be under James Gunn if he does.
Yeah.
So James Gunn is done because he's making crappy DC movies now.
They might be good. We don't know.
By the way, just to touch back a little bit here, it is pronounced pusillanimous, and the definition of it is showing a lack of courage or determination.
And then isn't there like a comma timid?
Yep, there
Yeah.
is. You're right. I'm
Got
gonna
the
use that word
padlock.
every day now. And then when people
Circling.
go, "You can't say that," I'm gonna go, "Well, actually."
Hmm. Uh.
Now we got canceled.
Yep. By a bunch of neckbeards and fedoras. They're like, my lady. Sorry. Actually, I'm not.
Nope. It's hilarious.
Uh, I think we speculated last week about who was going to be voicing Lila.
Well, you and I had a private conversation about it, and then
it
we
wasn't. Oh, I thought we did it
I
on
don't know.
the
I don't-
podcast.
Maybe we did. I know you and I talked about it personally when we looked at the voice list for the Guardians movie, that both Margot Robbie and I just closed my Google too. God damn it. You talk. I'm gonna look up her
Yeah.
name.
That Margot Robbie, or the actor that played Ratcatcher 2 in the Suicide Squad, are both have, a character in the movie, whether it's just voices or if we'll actually see their faces, we don't know. But it doesn't say online who they're playing, so we were speculating that either one of them could be voicing Lila, who is the otter in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Turns out that it's actually Linda Cardellini,
Yeah. Who plays
Clint Barton's
Hawkeye's
wife.
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agent 19, Hummingbird, right? Hummingbird.
Her
Yeah.
her name is, I might butcher the last name, but it's Daniela Melcher or Melchior. I
One
think
of
it's
those.
Melcher.
Yeah.
She's a French actress. She played, like Chad said, Ratcatcher 2
Oh,
in
if she's French, it might be Melcher, but
Melchior. She's hot.
yeah, she's very good looking.
It does not say on. She's Portuguese. Ooh,
Portuguesa.
that's like, as you know, when and if this country goes to shit, that's
When.
where Nicole and I are running away to. Is Portugal? We've already looked at places out there. Like,
I did
yeah.
too, because you were like, "That's where we're going." I was like, "If you're leaving, I'm leaving." Like,
Anyways, yeah. We thought either Margot Robbie or Daniela were gonna be playing the voice character of Lila, which we know now is Linda Cardellini. Cardellini?
yeah, Cardellini.
Yeah. Which also now leaves, who the fuck does Margot Robbie?
I think that,
Who are they playing?
well, we know that some of the from
Animals.
Guardians 2, also like the other Ravagers.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there was, because we know Michael Rosenbaum is coming
Mm-hmm.
back to play Martin X. We know that Sly is coming back.
The Italian stallion.
But in Guardians 2, Miley Cyrus voiced like the little like robot head box thing.
Yeah.
One of them could be filling that role.
Replacing her,
Probably
yeah.
Margot Robbie would be more likely if I had to guess, but who
I
knows?
personally think if you were going to put Daniela in this movie, don't CGI her, please.
Yeah, please.
Please.
But it also makes sense because it's James Gunn. He
Yeah.
likes to bring people
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Uh, but also, it wasn't an actual confirmation, but
Mhm.
Andrew Garfield was asked about The Amazing Spider-Man 3, especially after, No Way Home and, the reinvigoration of fandom for him, because a lot of people shit all over those movies.
I loved those. Those are my favorite.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I loved the first one. And then you convinced me to like go back and rewatch it, and I was like, the things that I didn't like about it was really that like Electro was blue.
Mm.
You know, there was not a lot of Goblin from Harry, uh, and yeah, it turned me around. I love those movies so
Yeah,
much.
there's.
Um,
I think I'm a fanboy for
Andrew
Andrew
Garfield,
Garfield.
hands
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
And but I think like every time I'm like, let's watch this tonight, and Nicole's like, oh, Andrew Garfield, really? And I'm like, it's a good movie, and she's like, yeah, whatever. You just have a man crush on him. And I'm like, so?
Yeah. And uh, yeah. But when asked if the Amazing Spider-Man 3 was actually happening because of the fan demand for it, he basically responded with, "Where the fuck were these people a decade ago?"
Yeah.
Like,
Because everybody shit. The reason nobody went and saw Amazing Spider-Man 2, it flopped, and then everybody that did see it shit all over it, and
sorry.
then fucking Jesus, No Way Home came out, and all the fans were like, bring back Andrew Garfield, and now Andrew Garfield's like, where the fuck were you in 2014?
Yeah.
The franchise died because the fans didn't like this movie, and now you guys are demanding that I return. Like,
Yeah.
come on, where were you guys? I was right here, Andrew.
I'm
I was
sorry,
advocating
Andrew.
the whole time. Um, another just kind of speculation thing, or something that we read, I guess. There was speculation that Mila Kunis was going to play Sue Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Mila Kunis responded to that and said, "No, I'm not in the movie, but I know who is," which means the MCU has casted Sue Storm at least
Yeah.
so far. But we don't know who the fuck it is.
I want this movie so bad, and we're like over a year out from it.
I know.
Um, and then also just one last thing is the new Transformers Rise of the Beast comes out in the next couple of weeks. Uh-huh. Uh it looks good.
Uh-huh.
That's my shit. Now tell me how to spell that one fruit full of potassium over and over again.
I was like, bananas?
Bananas. uh no, but the new Transformers movie is coming out. It looks cool. I loved Beast Wars. Uh when that was on TV.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see that incorporated.
I'm excited about it. I think the thing that gets a little messy with it, which like boggles my mind a little bit, is that this movie is supposed to take place in 1994. So before the Shia LaBeouf movies, but somehow, and even like the standalone Bumblebee movie was before Shia LaBeouf, but somehow in the Shia LaBeouf movies, they're unaware of the Transformers whatsoever. And it's like, how? How?
And also, like, Bumblebee looks like crap.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I mean, it was the Bumblebee movies were in the 80s, they weren't cool cars that he could copy back then. That's why.
he was a Camaro the entire time.
Yeah, but he wasn't like in like the
Yeah,
it makes stupid sense that I'm gonna say like the older movies of Shia LaBeouf, which were in the 2000s, they were nicer cars, so he was able to have a more sleek like version of himself. But in the the Bumblebee movies, it was in the 80s, which would be like a boxier, like,
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
the only thing that I've seen of Bumblebee from like these trailers and
Mm,
stuff, he's in Transformer mode, not in car
yeah.
mode. But
I also don't think that Bumblebee is like in the Shia movies, Bumblebee is like the main character because he and Shia have that connection.
mhm.
In this movie, it's not Bumblebee. It's this kid that the main character and a different Transformer. I don't know the name of it. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry. It's their connection. So Bumblebee is not at the
Yeah.
center of this movie.
But also in the first Transformers movie, isn't a bunch of like asteroids that hit is what brings everyone to the planet, but now they've already been there for like decades.
Uh, I
Mm-hmm.
no, because they come after Optimus Prime is already there, and then he sends a signal to them, and when they come there, then they all come.
Oh, like coming.
Sorry. If
Sorry.
you know, you know.
For
Not
Andrew Garfield.
Republicans over here. Anyways, uh,
All
later,
right.
chump.
On that note, let's
Go
get
off.
into our first sponsor, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. Uh, Great energy drinks, tons of flavors, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. If that's not your thing, they've got things like supplements, protein packed pancakes, cake in a cup, cookie dough, things like that. A lot of it is plant based, which is cool. Not all of it. So if you are like us and you follow a plant based diet, just be sure to look at what those protein packed meals are. Um, but yeah, listen up, learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about Peter Pan and Wendy. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high quality formula to bring a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, everyone. So we want to talk about Peter Pan and Wendy, now streaming on Disney Plus. I guess you can say spoiler alert, but if you watch the original Peter Pan, from 60 years ago,
Yeah.
uh, no spoilers.
Well, it is kind of because there's been so many. I mean, even it just in our lifetime alone, there has been so many adaptions
Yeah.
of Peter Pan. It's like
I mean, we
it's
had
crazy.
Pan, which was
Pan.
like the musical with Hugh Jackman.
Oh,
Obviously,
even before that, there was
Hook.
one called
Hook with
yeah
Robin
Hook.
Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams. There's one called I think just called Peter Pan. I don't remember the name, the director of the kid that was in it, but I remember it. It
Yeah,
was
it was
okay.
like a film adaptation of the stage adaptation of the film, which was an adaptation of the book.
Yeah,
Uh
there's
huh.
Pan's Labyrinth, which I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think it does.
Does not.
Right on. Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Guillermo del Toro's thing. I know it wasn't like Peter Pan, but it was. No? All right, right on. Let's go fuck myself. I
Nothing
saw it.
about that.
I saw it. It was a good movie. It was all in Spanish, and I didn't think it had anything to do with it,
It
but
doesn't.
yeah, right on.
But then
Well,
there's also like Finding Neverland, with Johnny Depp and
yep. That was
uh
about the writer of
yeah, and
yeah,
Freddie
Highmore.
Highmore, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just been so many, and I mean, it's not a bad thing. This is a beloved, beloved.
Both are
You
right.
sound like you're from London. Uh, but this one, I really enjoyed this one. It was very taking it back to the originals. It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. People, I mean, if you're a white American and angry about colored people, then you probably had a problem with Tinkerbell being black and Peter Pan being Indian.
Yeah.
But if you're not a piece of shit, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. It had a lot of nostalgia to it, which was cool. I mean, there was a couple of scenes that were shot for shot from the animated, like one of your favorite scenes.
The crocodile.
Yeah.
Basically Captain Hook doing the splits in a crocodile's mouth to keep him from like eating him.
Hmm.
Also, we have to throw some respect towards Jude Law playing Captain Hook. That was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Uh,
I love Jude Law.
I didn't look up any of the actors at first. And a lot of times I do that just cuz I like to know who's in it. I didn't, and about it wasn't quite halfway through the movie, but a good chunk of the way through the movie, and I was like, "Is that fucking Jude Law? That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi." No, I'm just kidding. Dumbledore. But yeah, and then I looked up who else was in it, and it was a lot of new actors and stuff like that. Makes sense. It's a bunch of kids.
Jim Gaffigan as Smee,
Oh
which
yeah,
was cool.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
I do remember like when we turned it on down here, it was Friday night, and I was like, if they don't put the fucking Saint Bernard in this movie, I'm gonna be so pissed. And like 30 seconds later,
There it
big
is.
ass Saint Bernard, and I was like, "Aw."
Yeah, I
It
loved
was
it.
cute. When Tink threw the
Pixie dust.
pixie dust on the dog, and the dog was like, "No, no!"
Yeah.
Like crawled back into its doghouse.
Doghouse. It was very cute. But even was it Jonathan or John, Little John, with the top hat?
Oh yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I really, really enjoyed this. What was cool was we actually got some backstory on Hook as well. He was one of the first Lost Boys
Yep.
that left Neverland and
He was
grew
Peter
up.
Pan's best friend.
Yeah. And that's why they feud, because Peter Pan felt abandoned, and Hook was like, "You should have come with me so we could have grown up together."
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. There was the most cliche, cheesy thing ever at the end of the movie, where it turns out that Peter Pan grew up in that house forever ago, and he had like carved his name into the chimney.
Well,
And
it's
then,
supposed to, they don't mention it, but it was supposed to have been an orphanage. And that's why the Lost Boys are from that orphanage. So was
Mhm.
Peter Pan. And that's why he goes back to the orphanage to get the Lost Boys. Like, that's why he
yeah,
grew up in that house. They don't really mention it in this movie, but
yeah,
that's,
it had used
yeah.
to be an orphanage, and now
It
it's
wasn't like he had a family and like grew up there. He is an orphan. And that's
Yeah.
why he was like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
yeah.
ever want to grow up. That's why he never missed his mom, because he never really knew her.
Very sad act. Like if you, I won't go into it, but if you look at the actual like the Grimm stories or the Grimm brothers stories of Disney movies, like it's very sad,
Well, I don't think that was a Grimm story.
wasn't it?
No, it was
Peter Pan.
it was just an English writer, but I don't think he contributed to Grimm stories, but he did
No?
write.
Aw,
But
lame.
it's still a very sad story
It is a very sad
originally.
story. Yeah.
Um, but and then Wendy stays behind, with her brothers and the Lost Boys that all went home. But Peter Pan decides not to stay, goes
Mhm.
back to Neverland, and then Wendy carves her name under Peter Pan, but also does the ampersand, so it literally says Peter Pan and Wendy.
Mhm.
And it's like, you could have just written Wendy.
Yeah.
Why and? You knew the dude for like a week. Uh,
I mean, Romeo and Juliet knew each other for like 3 days, and they killed a bunch of people and themselves. So,
one of their deaths was accidental. Well, not accidental, just not planned.
yeah.
One of them was a stage death,
Hmm.
but fake.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jimmy
Anyways.
Hoffa. What?
What?
It's like Jimmy Hoffa. Just kidding. That dude's real dead. He's buried somewhere out east under a lot of cement. Um, but yeah, it was fun. It
It
was
was fun.
the the fights between Peter Pan and Hook, where their shadows are interacting instead of them directly,
Yeah.
was really cool.
We also got like an actual, like, indigenous person as Tiger Lily
Yeah,
instead of, Rumi Mara, a white person as an Indian. But you know,
Rudy Mara was.
in the one with Hugh Jackman.
That's who played Tiger Lily. I never saw it because
Yeah.
I thought it looked terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, she was
Mm.
a white American. We actually got a indigenous person. I should have looked up her name. God damn it, I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, she killed it. It was fun.
Tinkerbell was awesome.
Tinkerbell was awesome. Come on.
Just, I think that every single character was just really well done, really well acted. I mean, it's for kids, but it was still
Oh, I'm gonna
awesome.
fuck that name up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Uh, Her name is Alyssa Wapanatak. I think that's how it's spelled. Wapanatahk.
I'm
Wapanatak?
I'm not even gonna try. Um,
Feel like it's Wapanatak. I could click on it and it'll like give you like the breakdown maybe sometimes.
yeah,
Nope, it doesn't. Right on.
a lot of times just because of white America, um, it's just spelled very phonetically.
Yeah.
I Because
I did think one of the very cool things in this movie was that one of the Lost Boys had Down syndrome. I thought that was
yeah,
dope.
I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool too.
Yeah, did a great job. So, anyways,
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you are our age and need a helping dose of nostalgia, this does it. If you have kids,
oh,
show it to them because it's fantastic. If you're one of those annoying Disney adults, definitely watch it. But you've probably only watched it 3 times because you're probably an annoying Disney adult. Um,
and if you're a racist, like, kill yourself.
wow, that got dark fast. But yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then you don't have to worry about the color of cartoon characters anymore. So,
yeah, of fictional characters. Yeah. That
you mean to tell me that this white mermaid is going to be black? You mean to tell me that you think mermaids are real? You fucking twat. Get over it. Anyways, sponsor number 2. Sorry.
we're really trying
Sorry,
to
I
get
blew up.
we're really trying to get canceled before we hit 125
Hey, you know
episodes.
what? If you disagree with this kind of shit, I don't want you listening to the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
But anyways,
we don't want you here.
yeah. Sponsor number two. Do you have it? Do you have it?
Oh, yeah.
Sponsor number two is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. It's called Cry Baby Craig's. Listen up, we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, nerds, we are going to talk about Titans, season 4, episode 10, now streaming on HBO Max. Before we get started, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet. Tune out, tune back in, be better about this. Come on.
Yeah, you know the drill at this point in time. Come on. I mean, come on.
All right, 1, 2, 3, you had enough time. This episode, for me, here's the thing. I love the characters and the development and blah, blah, blah. This episode was kind of lame for me. The last episode was so good with Gar in the multiverse or whatever.
Yeah.
And then this one was just kind of was like slapping a chicken breast on some pavement. And that was it.
It's a weird analogy, but I get it.
Yeah?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like boiled chicken and broccoli. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
It's boring.
yeah.
Some stuff happened that was not really... Like, if this is going to be your last season, like, can we fucking...
Well, I don't think that they knew.
Well, I know, but can we turn this up a little bit? You know?
There's only 2
They had
episodes
to.
left.
I know, it's super...
Because, like, nothing has fucking really happened.
No.
We do get some insight into Connor. I mean, we kind of saw him approach Sebastian at the end of the last episode. But we get some insight that he is still aligned with the Titans, but he's kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to stop Sebastian. So
I wonder if they're going to do, like, a thing where, like, he tries to do something on his own and then realizes that, like, he works better as a team and then has to, like, rejoin the Titans. So,
well, I
like,
mean, that's kind of what this episode was. It just wasn't that cool about it.
we've been making fun of this since this show started. That, like,
Oh, yeah.
Dick would be like, I got to do this on my own, and then get his ass kicked. And then the Titans would be like, we got your back. And he's like, teamwork. Yay! And then, like, the next episode, he'd be like, I'm doing this by myself. And get his ass. And it's like...
Yeah, I didn't catch on because we were talking about Connor, and that's a very
Yeah.
Dick Grayson trait. I see where you're going with that. But, I mean, he does literally do that this episode. Like, because Sebastian supposedly, allegedly, kills his mother, Mother Mayhem, just sets her on fire and is like, okay, bye. And
she asked for it, you know. She was like, "You're nothing without Trigon," and he's like, "Bitch, I got power." And she's like, "Nah, you suck." And he's like, "Check this out."
and then burns her alive. Holy 1770s Boston Batman. But Connor basically hires Sebastian at LexCorp to make his game. But then Sebastian, like the twat that he is, curses the game. So as people play it, they get addicted. And then when they lose, they either
Lose
die or
their
go into a coma and don't really exactly know.
It's like souls, right?
That's what it seems like.
Because he says like they're becoming a part. Hello, hiccup. A drunk hiccup.
I'm the problem. It's me.
He's like they're becoming part of me. Blah blah. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just look over at you.
She's like whining at me. What?
But while that's happening, we go back to Gar, and somehow Corey gets trapped in the red with the rest, or not the rest, but some of the Doom Patrol.
Mm.
And
it's Brendan Fraser, Matt Bomer,
and I didn't look up the actor's name that plays Victor Stone / Cyborg.
Twat.
Twat. They made him a super douchey.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer.
Like,
I haven't watched Doom Patrol. I want to, and I should.
it's really hard to justify starting it knowing that it's canceled.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. And they end up in the trash compactor from A New Hope. And they decide,
What do we do?
shoot the roof.
Blow the roof off this joint.
And then that's how they escape.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird and dumb.
It was dumb.
And the way that they got led into that room was a neon sign that said back door. But so the back door gives Gar an idea to help Tim hack into LexCorp to shut down the game. And they think that it works. But really, what it was Connor and Sebastian saw that someone was trying to hack in, and Connor used his super speed to let them in. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing, Step Titans?
You can't see it, but you know what's going on here.
Which also reinforces the fact that Connor is on the side of the Titans. He's just going about it a different way.
He's just doing a Dick Grayson thing. I'm gonna do this myself.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna be like, well, this was a mistake. We need to team up because we're the Teen Titans.
That's I see what you did there. But that's literally like what this episode was he thought that he could control Sebastian and distract him until he found a way to destroy him. And when Sebastian's like, yeah, I cursed it, whatever. And then Connor's like, fuck, this is not good.
I mean, literally, like, rips off the arm of the chair that he's because he's so mad.
But, I mean, it was still a good episode. It just was a lot of filler and a lot of setup.
And then we got to talk about we get a Constantine reference.
Only Dick Grayson doesn't do that, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
But he did say, into the light I command thee, a couple of times.
Yeah.
It was also just like a bunch of filler to explain how they separate Rachel from Sebastian from their blood tie.
Which was like a zombie.
It was
guy.
Matt Smith in full vampire form from
Was
Morbius.
it actually Matt Smith?
No, but it looked just
okay.
like what he looked like in Morbius.
I was like, do you know something I don't know? It was dumb, and he had this like invisible blade, and they were like, you gotta kill him with this blade. And
it was powered by the power of love. But literally it was.
It was, yeah.
If you love her, then the blade will appear and you can save her.
Yeah.
How do you think Rachel felt before, like, she was, like, on her deathbed, but, like, slowly losing her life force, and Dick, like, pulls out the knife and there's no blade?
She's like, come on, dude, at least, like, just the tip. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. We're funny.
And then at the end of it, it turns out that Mother Mayhem is still alive.
Yeah. She's like
looking extra crispy.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Michael Jackson and the Pepsi commercial, you know.
What?
What? You don't know about that?
No, that reference went over my head.
Oh, there was a Pepsi commercial that Michael Jackson was filming for, and because he had so much fucking bullshit in his hair,
Oh,
they
and he
did like
started on
sparks and he
fire.
caught on fire.
Okay. I knew about that. I thought you were talking about like he looked like a burn victim in a Pepsi commercial, and I was like, the fuck? I don't know about this.
No, no, no.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the show is still really good. I think that we're just salty also because we know it's the end of the show,
Mhm.
and it doesn't look like it's going to wrap up in a super satisfying way.
That's that. That's what annoys me the most about it is like the show
This is not
Superman
a
and
final
Lois.
season
The show
story.
Superman and Lois is also getting canceled because of this takeover, but they're giving them 2 seasons to wrap it up. And then they were like, Titans? Yeah, you guys are done. Mid-season. Figure it out. Who cares? And it's like, come on, at least give them one more season to like,
Even if it's a short season, even if it's,
yeah,
six
like give them
episodes,
the
it doesn't have to
time to
be
like,
12.
yeah,
Give them 6 to 8 episodes.
yeah. It is a bummer. I really enjoy this show, and yeah, I'm butthurt about it for sure.
Yeah.
James Gunn, God damn it. If what you do doesn't make sense or be really good, I'm gonna fucking snap, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, every single movie better be fucking Man of Steel quality. Because Man of Steel is my favorite DC movie.
Yeah.
Like
At
that's
least the Suicide Squad quality.
yeah. I don't want a comedy out of this shit either. Like I know that's his thing. He's like, oh, it can make it funny and serious at the same time. No, that's not what Superman's about.
With certain characters, go for it. But it
Yeah.
needs to be dark, gritty, violent, like the DC comics are.
I whatever.
We'll see.
I'm salty about it. You guys know if you listen to our podcast, I am so salty. I feel like Henry Cavill was the perfect Superman. Zack Snyder was doing a great job, and everything got so fucked up and turned around. I am just,
Because
yeah,
of the Justice League, because
yeah.
Zack Snyder had to step away for personal reasons, and they could have just delayed it.
Yeah.
He
I'm
had
serious, dude.
clearly
Like,
he
James
had
Gunn,
enough to do it, but when it came to getting someone else to finish it, Joss just
yeah,
bastardized it.
yeah. And if I swear to God, dude, if James Gunn flops, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
pissed. I'm gonna just boycott. If I'll watch it and like, hey, like I have got a lot of faith in the guy. He makes good movies,
Yeah.
but like, you got
There's so
you
much
got
contradictory
there's so
news
much
about
weight
everything
on his
going on.
shoulders with this, and it's like, man, if you don't deliver, peace,
Yeah.
deuces.
Oh,
And it's so hurtful because Henry,
yeah.
you know, Henry, he's
Ju-
the best.
Justice
I
for
love
Henry.
Henry in everything he's in.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best Superman. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna. Obviously, Christopher Reeves is the best Superman, but Henry Cavill is the best Superman since. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, if you don't deliver a better Superman, which I don't think you're going to,
At least on par.
yeah,
Something that obviously it can't be the same story, but like something that's as enjoyable and authentic.
but I want DC. This is my problem: is that DC is darker than Marvel, always has been. In
Yeah.
the it's supposed like the comics and like all that shit. Like it's supposed to be way darker, and I don't want James Gunn to come in and do. I loved Peacemaker, but I don't want James Gunn to come in and be like Peacemaker. It's gonna be funny and dumb and like blah blah blah. You know what I
It
mean?
made
Like
sense for Peacemaker. It made sense
like
for
you
the
said,
Suicide
it
Squad.
makes sense for certain characters, but I don't want that for my Superman movie. And if you fuck that up, I'm done. I
Yeah.
will not watch any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a very
Oh,
important tangent that we just went on, but a tangent indeed. Um, but let's go ahead and close out this episode. What do you say, Jake?
but before we do, we are going to talk about our honorable
Our.
mentions. What do you got, Chad?
Not a whole lot this week. Just Ted Lasso, obviously, because that's
Oh,
fucking incredible.
we do have to talk about one thing in Ted Lasso before we move on.
Yeah,
Can we?
yeah, we can do it
Can
right
we?
now.
Okay. So, if you haven't watched the newest episode of Ted Lasso, spoiler alert, and get out of here. Come back. If you have,
Just sit
uh,
through it. It's fine.
yeah, listen up. Yeah, there's this part in this last episode where they decide as a team building moment to tie all of their dicks together, and that way, if like they're not working in tandem, their dicks get pulled by the string, and it's ouch. Um,
It's really
Roy
funny.
Kent loves this
Well, it was
so
his
much,
idea.
so much that later on in the episode, he comes up with a play where it's one person in the middle and and a bunch of people are around him, and they're like, and he goes, let's tie multiple dicks to one dick. And Coach Beard is basically like, nah, man,
That was
that
like
was
a
a
one-time
that
thing.
was a one-time thing. And Roy goes, oh, that's a shame. Later on in the episode, that when they're actually playing their game, they're getting their asses kicked. And during the big speech, Jamie Tart,
Jamie Tart.
yeah, uh, basically is like, play it through me, not to me, and
You
they're like,
feel me?
what? And he draws on the board, and he's like, if I drop it back into the center of the screen, or the screen, if I drop back into the center of the field, and you guys surround me and play through me, and then I can pass the ball to you guys as strikers, that's the way we're gonna like get points on the board. Um, and it didn't occur to me until I called you, Chad. I called you
Yeah.
days later after the episode had aired, and I was like, dude, I think something crazy just happened. And it took me days to realize that Roy Kent, his drawing of having multiple dicks tied to one dick, and then Jamie saying play through me, and by when he drew the diagram of himself in the middle of the field and everybody else, it was the same drawing.
Yeah.
So Jamie Tart was the one dick, and all of the other players were the dicks tied to his dick. So
Yeah.
I know this is a really weird way of explaining this, but this is really how the show was.
Yeah.
So Jamie was the one dick, and the entire team was tied to his dick, and they were playing through him instead of to him. Like
Yeah.
instead of passing the ball to Jamie to make a score and putting all the pressure on him, they're passing the ball to Jamie in the middle of the
To
field,
make
and he
the
would
plays.
pass the ball to whoever he saw fit to make the score.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to be the main goal scorer like Zava from earlier in the season was. He was the playmaker.
Yeah.
And it also is backed up by, Roy Kent training him like nonstop to where he is now the most agile,
This is my
the most
favorite show on
endurance.
TV right now.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
Yeah. And it's all been building the team around Jamie Tart, but not in a way of him being the superstar, but of him being, it's almost setting Jamie up to be the captain.
Yeah.
Calling
Jamie
the
is-
plays, making
Jamie's
the plays.
Character development from season 1 to this season has
Incredible.
been so fucking good. I love this show. If you're not watching Ted Lasso, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you don't chew Big Red,
Then
fuck
fuck
you.
you. I'm not gonna do
Anyway,
not gonna do the prune candy bit because it's 100% very racist and not okay. Uh,
but yeah, it's a really good show. Please watch it if you're not watching it. It's so fun.
yeah,
Um, give
and
us what's your actual honorable mentions other than Ted Lasso?
oh, I've just been watching a bunch of Dimension 20, uh, which is it's from the people of College Humor, but it's video and episodes of them playing Dungeons and Dragons because I am kind of obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons and building a campaign to run myself. So I've just been diving into successful productions of D&D that I can learn from, and it's been a ton of fun. I really enjoy it. What about you? Other than Ted Lasso, what do you have?
Um, we watched the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal. Uh, fucking hilarious.
It's so
And
good.
like over the top. I don't know how to explain. It's just over the top Nick Cage, which is how Nick Cage is, which is why the movie is so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's very like meta.
Yeah.
It's
I mean
very
the
self-aware that Nick Cage is
and
over the top Nick Cage.
and his like younger self, that Nikki, like oh my
His
fucking
alter
God.
ego
This is my
or
favorite
conscience.
part of the whole fucking movie. He's like, I'm Nicholas fucking good. It lasts like 2 minutes long, and he's like, ah! It's so fucking funny.
Oh,
Um,
I
the
love
other
that
thing that
movie.
I have been watching is called The Rig on Amazon Prime. It's about a bunch of Scottish oil drillers in the middle of the ocean, and something supernatural, maybe prehistoric, is fucking up their lives. It's creepy. It's fun. The actors in it are Sajora. I don't know his actual name from Game of Thrones. Um,
E- E-
Ian Glenn.
Ian
Ian
Glenn.
Glenn.
Yeah.
I do know his name. There's another actor from Game of Thrones in there. I don't remember his name. And then the chick from
Schitt's Creek, right?
Schitt's Creek. What was her name in Schitt's Creek?
Stevie?
Stevie from Schitt's Creek. I forget her name in real life. Uh, it's a lot of fun. It's creepy. It's not really scary, but it's just kind of eerie and interesting. So that's what I got for my honorable mentions.
All right. Well, if you guys haven't seen any of those things, go watch them because I know I am wanting to start the rig. The
I bet you are.
the unbearable weight of massive talent was hilarious. I saw that in the theaters. It was just hilarious, and Ted Lasso is just so great.
The best.
Yeah. Well, as we close out this episode, if you like what we are doing, we mentioned it earlier, please go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support the podcast. It helps us do more and more things. Like we've teased in the past, we have other stuff coming out, and like I mentioned, we will be having a D&D podcast that's part of the All Things Nerd umbrella coming out, and just a lot of big things coming. You know, if you don't want to give on a monthly basis, we totally get it. I mean, lame, but still give us your money, right, Jake?
Yeah, give us your money.
Yeah, please. Otherwise, it's poop.
This poop.
But if you don't want to give on a monthly basis, just go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com. That's where our merch store is. So you can still pick up something while supporting the podcast, which is pretty awesome, and we'd greatly appreciate it. If you don't want to give us your money at all, double lame. But we still love you all, and if you could at least give, wherever you listen to the podcast, like, subscribe, share, give 5-star ratings where that's a thing. It just helps. But at the end of the day, we love you all, and Jake, bring
We
it home.
try. This has been the All Things Nerd podcast.